President Biden hitting the road, pushing his multi-trillion-dollar spending plans as he becomes increasingly unpopular with the American people.
This is a tax cut. It changes the lives of the American people. So let's get this done. Let's move. Folks, we have the most talented workforce in the world. What are we doing? What in God's name are we doing? And by the way, you hear these numbers, 3.5 trillion or 1.75 trillion? We pay for it all. It doesn't increase the deficit one single cent.
And with the backdrop of Americans facing product shortages and soaring inflation, Biden's approval numbers are going off a cliff. He is losing more ground from the start of his term to now than any other president since World War II. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warning that the high prices rattling consumers, well, they are here to stay.
When do you expect the inflation to get back to the 2% range, which is considered normal? 2022, 2023, when?
Well, I expect that to happen next year. We are going through a period of inflation that's higher than Americans have seen in a long time, but we haven't lost control.
And some in the media are telling Americans to just stop complaining. The Atlantic writing, worried about the supply chain? Stop buying so much stuff, which is not really the most American of attitudes, Jesse.
No, it is not. We get these types of things when Democrats are in office. It's all of a sudden, it's our problems. The president's problems become our problems, so the media can shift the accountability to the American people. So, shut up, you pampered shopaholic, and start lowering your expectations. That happened a little bit during the last Democratic president under Barack Obama. We would get hit with a domestic terror attack, and we were told, that's your fault, you Islamophobe. Or we'd get high gas prices, and they'd say, oh, you shouldn't have bought that gas-guzzling SUV. And then a Republican gets into office, and everything's his fault. Racism, sexism, your girlfriend has a drinking problem. Everything on the earth is that president's problem. But the problem with Joe Biden is he's creating problems, and then he's ignoring the problems he's creating. The American people want him to focus on the border and inflation, and he's not doing either one. And that's why his poll numbers are sliding so dramatically. He's like the Tinder date. You see his picture, he looks like a 10, and then you meet him at dinner, and he's a 2.
It happens all the time.
Right? And you have to sit down now through a 4-course meal with this stiff. And you're thinking, how do I get out of here? He was kind of had a blurry picture during the election because he was hiding Biden. And now he's in full focus, and he's ugly. And we don't like this guy. So now you're seeing Yellen come out there. Can she go on paternity like Mayor Pete did? Because every time she opens her mouth, I'm scared. She comes out and she misses inflation last year. She poo-pooed it. That's a verb. And now we're hit with a major inflationary period. She goes, it's going to last until at least next year. And then she says this, but we haven't lost control. Well, isn't that reassuring from the Treasury Secretary? I feel so much better now that you guys haven't lost control. But now you have high prices, you have high fuel prices, and you have low growth and a weak dollar, and that is a recipe for disaster.
So, Dagan, can we get your take on all of that?
I thought it was weird that Janet Yellen was staring up at the ceiling like this. I don't know what she was looking at, but again, when somebody won't look you in the eye, they're lying to you. It's not under control. The Federal Reserve, this is an unprecedented experiment in monetary policy, the amount of money they've been pumping into the system, and they haven't even begun to start pulling back on it. They're monetizing the debt. They're buying the debt that the federal government issues. That alone is going to be a disaster. But I do love that if your spending is going to be socialist, then the way you pay for it also needs to be socialist. And they're talking about this new annual tax on unrealized capital gains, which is a wealth tax, I don't care what anybody says, you're confiscating people's wealth, and it is fraught with peril, raises so many problems, whether it's only for billionaires. My big fat backside, it's only for billionaires, because what ends up happening is these taxes, this type of tax never raises enough money. The billionaires are going to move. So who does it end up hitting? People much lower on the financial scale. Look at the alternative minimum tax, originally designed to hit less than 200 people, hit millions and millions of people a few decades from then. But it also will expand the power of the Internal Revenue Service. It's un-American and unconstitutional. But again, Biden is governing for applause and accolades overseas, which is where he's going later in the week. And that's why he's getting the double middle finger from Americans who drive and shop at grocery stores.
His biggest drop, Greg, has been with some Democrats, but mostly it was the independents, like just free fall.
Yeah, and this is, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he just keeps yelling at us.
Yeah, why are you yelling?
Yeah, why are you? It's like we're all pulling wheelies on his front yard on a Sunday, and he's coming out shaking the rake. To your point about we haven't lost control, that is part of the whole idea of setting a low bar. Hey, we haven't, but this is the depends presidency. They have lost control, but the slogan is "suck it up." And it's being pushed by the media, as you saw with that article, the same media that vows any restrictions to medical care access or housing by an illegal alien, that would be seen as bigoted. But if you're an American, you suck it up. You have to deal with loss, right? You have to, with diminished availability of products. So people who aren't from America or illegal aliens, they get the carrot, but it's the citizens who get the stick. And what's hilarious is they are damning citizens for buying stuff after they gave them the money to buy the stuff. So you're telling us that now we must yield to every irrational, punitive pronouncement that you have. First, take the money. Now, don't spend that money. And here's my deal.
Also, don't save it.
Don't save it either, because that's bad. But here's my deal. If you want Americans to pull back, you have to as well. No more flights to push climate change. No more Met Galas. No more expensive dining out at insanely priced Italian restaurants. Let them eat cake thing is wearing thin, especially when we can't find any cake.
Yes, the cake.
It's empty
gotta wait in
shelves.
line.
It's empty shelves.
So President Biden's going to New Jersey to campaign for Democrat Phil Murphy. He's running for re-election for governor in New Jersey. Confess, I've been paying a lot of attention to Virginia, not to New Jersey. I didn't realize, and now I've been educated today by friends saying that this race is a lot closer. It quietly tightened. Do you think there's a possibility that the Republicans could win in New Jersey?
Probably not. I mean, it's a blue state, but you got to remember, we talked a little bit about it before coming on. I think this will be the first time a Democrat, when Phil Murphy wins, gets reelected as governor of New Jersey. I think in like 45 years.
They had to be worried enough to send Biden in.
No. So I think then you add to it all of the consternation around some of the issues that we've raised here, some of the issues that we raise every other day around, most of the days about Biden and the immigration crisis and how this might be bleeding over to these candidates. But I would remind everybody, as much as we sound a little gloomy about things, the Dow and S&P, which is not the only barometer, close of the record today.
How Trumpian of you.
Well, no, I'm a capitalist, always have been, and I think that my Democrats and Democrats I align with believe that. Now, are we where we want to be? No, there's no doubt their prices have gotten too high. But I would remind everyone also, we have incentivized investing in this country to invest in companies and to force management teams at companies to be really efficient. And as a result, that efficiency breeds a lot of things, including profitability, including more investors. But sometimes, if demand gets a little lopsided one way, it creates problems. They didn't get all of this right with all of the stimulus and so forth. I'd much rather err on the side of giving people too much during a crisis and during the moment we face than not. Further, Dagan said it well as well. Since 2007, we've had nothing but an experiment with the Federal Reserve Board. And some of they've gotten right, some of they've gotten wrong. I actually wish they had erred a little more sometimes, maybe pulling back. And I think that's what Summers was saying a little while ago. I don't know if he was saying don't spend as much on the stimulus, although he did say a little of that. He was really concerned about the Fed. So we've got to look at all this on the table. And in fact, when the Fed does what it does, the people who win the most are rich people.
Do you have confidence that the Biden administration is paying attention to those issues?
Well, I do. There's smart people there. And I think Janet Yellen, I don't know what she was looking at when she was talking. I didn't see the interview, but she's smart. And she's capable. And clearly, Jerry Powell and the team, they have the tools to do what needs to be done if this thing does get out of control. But to your point, politically, I think the country is blaming Democrats for this. That's why the president was in New Jersey. That's why he's probably going to have to go to Virginia. But I'll tell you this, there's one guy on the Democratic side I wouldn't count out ever in an election. That's Terry McAuliffe. He's the best retail politician we have in our party.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.